You're good.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'll call the Manchester Community Schools Board of Trustees special meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Raymer.
Present.
Mr. Booker.
Here.
Mr. Brubaker.
Here.
Mr. Espacet.
Here.
Mr. Shaw.
Present.
Mr. Hensley.
Here.
And I'm here, Dave Turblinger. Emergency additions or deletions?
No additional deletions.
You did get an updated addendum in your package today. So, at this time, we have hearing of patrons for agenda items only. Okay, no comments. Gonna do recommendations for approval, employment. If you get, unless somebody has an issue with it, we'll do certified and classified staff and ECA staff all in one motion tonight. We have Tia Parson, MES kindergarten paraprofessional, Melody Holmes, an MES day custodian, ECA staff, Gail Ollinger, junior high assistant musical director, Dennis Powell, junior senior high school assistant softball coach, Rhonda Snover, senior high school Icarian plunge, Drake Lewis, Manchester senior high school boys basketball volunteer coach. I entertain a motion to approve the recommendations for hiring approval.
So moved.
Mr. Booker,
Second.
second. Mr. Brubaker, any discussion or comment? All in favor? What?
Welcome aboard.
Yeah. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Whelan, are you gonna put this approval of class staff salary schedule up on the board? There you go.
So we've spent some time trying to look through area and similar type school corporations throughout to come up with where those base salaries should be for all of our hourly employees. So as you're all aware, we have a lot of hourly employees here, and we want to make sure that we are able to be competitive with our wages and also show our appreciation for the quality work that they do. So we did make adjustments across the board to all of the base salaries, and then the employees who fall under these categories who are below the base will be brought up to the base, and anyone who's at the base or above will get a 4% raise going into next year. So.
Motion to approve 3.2, approval of classified staff salary schedule.
So moved.
Mr. Raymer and Mr. Brubaker. Any further discussion, questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Whelan, 3.3.
So the next one has to do with the bus drivers. Once again, they're also classified staff, but their pay schedule looks a little bit different. And so what we're looking at doing, or what I'm proposing, is to increase the base rate up to $88 per day. Most of them are right around $83.50 right now. And the shuttle, the experience, and mileage will still remain the same, but the other increase we'll make is the trip rate from $11 to $12. It was $11 back when I was the athletic director, so the trip rate has not changed in quite some time. So we're looking at increasing the daily rate plus increasing the trip rate.
Entertain a motion to approve 3.3, the approval of bus driver salary schedule. Mr. Brubaker,
I'll second. Well,
Mr. Shaw, second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Whelan, substitute pay 3.4.
So our substitute pay has been pretty regular for a while now, and we continue to have trouble finding substitutes. We're shorthanded on most days, and so I once again surveyed area schools because we are in direct competition with some of the area schools, especially because we use Region 8 sub services. And so we're looking at raising the rate from $75 to $85 per day for our subs. And then if we have if a sub either has or has had a teaching license, we would do $100 per day for that. There are several corporations that I've found that have incentivized those licensed teachers as well, just so we improve the quality of who's in the classroom.
Motion to approve 3.4, approval of substitute teacher pay. Mr. Raymer, Mr. Bucher,
I'll
any
second.
discussion or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Approval 3.5, approval of administrative contracts. Mr. Whelan?
The first part is the addendum, and the addendum for the administrators is very similar to what's in the collective bargaining agreement for our certified teachers. And two of the items in there has to do with insurance as well as the contribution to the 401. We did change or added insurance options for the teachers this year, as well as increased the 401 contribution from 1.75% to 3%. Once again, those were the same in the administrative addendum, or in the addendum, so I was proposing that we go ahead and mirror those changes from the collective bargaining agreement to the administrative addendum.
Do you want to do the contracts at the same time?
Oh, sure. And then the contracts, we do have several administrators who were here in the past. We do have three, myself, Mrs. Emmel, and also Mr. Silvius, who were hired on this year. So the administrators who are returning, I'm proposing a $2,800 increase to their salaries across the board.
Motion to approve the addendum and the teacher contracts, 3.51 and 3.52.
Correction, the administrator contracts.
Pardon?
Not the teacher contracts.
It's
the
administrator.
Contracts, yes.
Was that a motion?
Yes, I will motion to approve the administrator contracts and the addendum.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Mr. Esposito? Since this is a contract, we'll do a roll call vote. Any comments or questions? And Mr. Hensley?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Esposito?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Yeah.
Mr. Bucher?
Yes.
Mr. Raymer?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion carries. Discussion information. Anybody have anything? Okay.
Just like the way you got creative on this, and not only are we in competition with other school corporations, I think at times we're in competition, everybody's got a labor shortage, so this goes along with the teacher pay and the, I like to see the creativity on it, so thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, speaking about substitutes, are there other solutions to finding substitutes? Are there other?
I'll be honest, it's something that a lot of corporations are facing. We have used some teachers during their prep times. When possible, we pulled some of our paras from other assigned areas, but that's difficult because you don't want to stretch, those areas as well. So, the one we continue to struggle with is at the junior, senior high school level, and that's typically because there aren't as many paras there to move around and adjust. So I know that this has been an ongoing problem for the last couple of years. Some of the retired teachers who may have been subbing in the past, for a lot of different corporations, because of, health concerns, they've elected to not do that for the time being. Some still do, and that's awesome to have people with the class management and the skills that they have. But
What's the minimum requirement, educational component to that?
really, we currently have a 30 credit hour stipulation on ours, but really it's a high school diploma is really what.
So we would hire a sub that had a high school diploma?
What's that?
We would entertain a sub that has a high school diploma?
That's one of the things I'm still looking into what our wording is, but yeah.
Along that line, we still get students from the college?
Not as often as we used to. I know that unfortunately their classes are scattered around so much that it's a matter of, there's some of them that will have a day here and there that are open, especially Fridays tend to be a day that a lot of them don't have. But that was, I did kind of market to them a little bit to see if we can pick some up. And then also around the holidays, sometimes we have students who are back home from college, that it might be short stints, but the typical college schedule is about 32 weeks versus a typical public school is 36 weeks. There's usually about 4 weeks that they're on break that we have class that, and a lot of times those are times that people are taking some time off, so certainly something we can do more than that.
And thinking about their marketing people, university, my apologies.
Anybody else? Okay, I got a bit of an update here. I told you last month that there've been some developments at Heartland on the new building. And this brief overview, because some of you weren't here. A year ago, this board and 4 other member school boards of Heartland Career Center voted to secure $1 million loan to allow the county to apply and Heartland to receive an 80-20 $5 million EDA grant to build a training center at Heartland. Private donations exceeded the expectations, which eliminated the need for the common school loan that these school districts all agreed to. We received the reimbursement grant early last year. COVID-19 hit our country and building costs skyrocketed. This caused the Heartland Building Committee and the HCC board to have to make some tough choices to cut the size of the building project, literally in half, because of the costs. And some county entities that were included in the fine print of the grant as partners have approached the county commissioners and requested a complete hold on the project until July 1 of 2022 or until the EDA rules on the downsized building project that the Heartland board had approved moving forward. The commissioner's request was granted. Mr. Hobbs, the Heartland director, has convened a research and advisory committee to try and resolve what appear at this time to be some irreconcilable differences on the building use. I will keep you advised as any further developments happen. So with that, unless somebody else has got something, we will move to public comments. Board, anything else? Questions, discussion?
I'll just say, we have a regional legislative kickoff meeting, I think it's December 6th, so if anyone in the public or anyone up here has any concerns or ideas about legislation, give it to me and I'll present it to the folks, so. Other than that, especially, I guess in this case, towards education, but also, childcare, those things impacting our labor force, so.
Public comments? Superintendent comments?
Yes, I want to thank everybody who helped make all of these new wage scales and salaries possible. I mean, there was a lot of people involved in the decision-making. One of the things that I appreciated from the very beginning is everybody, administration, teachers association, everybody was very much in favor of looking at our classified staff and all the supports that they provide and make sure that we are keeping them, included as we go along. These are probably some of the largest classified staff raises that we've had here in a long time. And so, it does take everybody's understanding of the value of these people and what they're able to do for our students to be able to recognize them in this way. So I do appreciate everybody doing that. We are moving along with our building project. I'm very pleased with our videos, and I wanted to thank Mr. Zinsmeister, Mr. Self for helping to put those together. We had Dr. Lippy, Mrs. Corus, Mrs. Landis, Mrs. Leifer, Mrs. Vogel, Mrs. Mize, all a part of these videos. Hopefully I didn't leave anybody out. But Mrs. McDowell, that's the one I was forgetting. But if anybody's curious about the building project, as well as the financials, if you look at the MCS information, stay informed, there's everything's there, including a frequently asked questions document to help out. So I encourage you to go there. I was really happy with the turnout at the public meetings. And we do have our second preliminary determination hearing /1028 on December 14th, which will be prior to the start of our next school board meeting. Tomorrow, Gardner Miller is actually going to be here to start laser scanning some of our areas to get moving forward on kind of the preparation work. And some behind the scenes stuff, I really want to thank Fatima. She worked really hard. We passed our teachers' collective bargaining agreement, and so she made all the adjustments for this current payroll. So I appreciate all the work that she did to do that. And then Darla, Sue, and Tanya worked really hard today on grants because we're still trying to get those caught up so we know where all of our monies are and where we're standing on, especially the ESSER grants. So I think that's it for me.
School board comments?
Happy Thanksgiving.
F&F committee members, 5 o'clock on December 8th. We have a meeting to open the proposals from the contractors. Just a reminder there. Unless anybody else has anything, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Searching for a better way to collaborate with your
Mr.
team?
Hensley, all
Try
in favor?
Favorite, an online whiteboard made for
Brian's in favor.
Hey, Misty.